Hello everyone, it's Rebecca here, and today I'm bringing you another book haul. I know all I seem to post is book hauls, and that's because I've got an addiction to buying books, but that is for another video. So recently I unhauled quite a lot of books, and when I unhaul books I will now forever take them up to Barter Books in Alnwick. For those of you who do not know, I live in the northeast of England, and Barter Books is a converted train station in Alnwick, and they basically are a used bookseller. They will also buy books from you in exchange for store credit, and I took quite a lot of my books up there and got £26 store credit and bought some books with some credit left over for next time I go up and visit. So I'm just going to show you those ones first. The first one I have is Leo Tolstoy's War and Peace. Now this one is more sort of for when I hit my midlife crisis, which feels like it's going to happen very soon, but this is basically for when I hit my midlife crisis. I can pick it up and read it, or you know, it's going to be one of those books that will change my life, hopefully, and it would be really cool just to say, oh, War and Peace, yeah, I took the time out to read that kind of thing. So yeah, that's the first one I got. This next one I got, I am really surprised that I actually found it when I found it. I recently discovered they have a teens and YA section within the children's section, and because there was loads of kids toys in there, I never thought to go in there, and this time I actually did, and that is Cinder by Marissa Meyer. I'm so pleased I finally have this, because everyone's been talking about the Lunar Chronicles, and I don't know much about the Lunar Chronicles other than they are fairy tale retellings, and Cinder follows the fairy tale retelling of Cinderella, where the main character Cinderella, or Cinder, is actually a cyborg. However, I did not need to tell you all that because you have all probably read it, and I'm really late to the party. These next two I have, I got these because I already have 2 copies of them, and I thought if I get the third I might actually read them, because the first set are like my sort of collector set and the next one's too big to carry around, and they are The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring and The Two Towers by J.R.R. Tolkien. Unfortunately, The Fellowship of the Ring has a little bit of a memo in there, which I'm kind of annoyed about and didn't realise at the time, but hopefully having these in separate editions means I can pick these up, and I know that I can get the Return of the King pretty easily in this edition. The next book I have is a name that I've heard flying around every now and again, and it's one of those that when you're in a mood for a classic, apparently this one always crops up on people's lists and I didn't realise, and that is Dr. Zhivago by Boris Pasternak. Now this is set in Russia during the revolution, and it is a love story. I don't know much else other than that, and yeah, looking forward to getting into it because it's going to be quite different to see and to witness from sort of a love story from a Russian perspective, because I don't really get that. I always have like love stories from American perspectives and the quite contemporary romances, whereas this one is, you know, this one's a little different, so I'm looking forward to that one. The final book I picked up at Barter Books, which I was really surprised to see it in and in such a good condition, is Wolf Hall by Hilary Mantel. I already have 2 of her books, Bring Up the Bodies and The Assassination of Margaret Thatcher and Other Stories. I just have not got around to reading them yet, and this was the first one I wanted to read really, but it's now also a drama on BBC, and I think if I were to watch it I'd probably want to read this first. And it's in the old cover that matches the Bring Up the Bodies cover, and not the new one with the actor's face on it, which is really good. Okay, so after I went to Alnwick, we then moved on to Amble, which is a little seaside town on the coast. Because Alnwick's weather was a bit hit and miss, so we thought we'll go to Amble, we'll go to the seaside, kind of have a look, we'll go to the marina, have a look around kind of thing, because we've never been, and I picked 2 books up on their market. The first book I picked up I have unhauled already at least once, and I've bought it again to give it another go, and that is David Mitchell's Cloud Atlas. I remember when I first got this I was trying to read it, but it was, for some reason it was a lot thicker than this one. I don't know why, but it's exactly the same edition. I wanted to read it but I couldn't get my head around it, and then my fiance watched the film on the journey to our holiday destination on the plane, and he couldn't get his head around it either, and normally he's really good at getting his head around these kind of films. So I thought, we'll get rid of it, and then I've ended up not getting rid of it, and I've ended up buying it again. I also have the Bone Clocks upstairs, and I feel like if I read the Bone Clocks and it's easy to read, I'll then pick this one up, but if not, it's always there for when I feel like a bit of a challenging read. The next book I picked up still has the sticker on as well, but this one is sort of like a booktube household name kind of thing. It's on everyone's booktubes apart from mine, and that is The Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor. I don't really know much about this again. I picked this up because I recognised the name, and for £1 I couldn't exactly say no, because this one retails at £8, which is on the more expensive side for a paperback in my country. Yeah, I don't really know much about it. I'm going to get into it shortly, hopefully, because I think it might be a quick read. I'm not too sure. And the final 3 books I have are from The Works. Now, The Works is a store in the UK that sells craft books, it sells arts and crafts things as well as books and CDs and things like that. And there is a one on my way to work, and I noticed they had a sale on, and it just kind of sort of went downhill from there. So I picked up 3 books. The first of which is Henning Mankell's Daniel. I don't really know much about this other than a guy goes to find and discover a new insect and name it after himself, and instead discovers a little boy who has, from what I assume, is the only survivor from the Europeans raiding his little village, his little hometown kind of thing, and everyone else is dead, and the guy who's going to try and find this insect ends up actually taking him home instead. It's about this boy's story trying to fit into a society where he doesn't feel fitted, and he's only got one friend, and it's also a vulnerable young girl who doesn't feel like she fits in this society either. And on the back it says that's a tragedy, so maybe there's a little bit of romance in there as well. I don't know who the tragedy's for other than the young boy, so I'm very, very interested in this one to see how it turns out. The next book I have is Horns by Joe Hill. I remember when this came out I thought, oh, Daniel Radcliffe's moving on from Harry Potter, good for him, and then I saw the pictures and it was Daniel Radcliffe with horns and a tail. I could not take it seriously after that, I really couldn't, so I thought, if I pick up the book and I enjoy it, then, you know, maybe I'll watch the film, maybe I'll not laugh as much at Daniel Radcliffe with horns. So yeah, I've picked this one up to see what it's all about. I've heard quite a lot of people hauling it as well recently, so I don't know if it's just a thing that everyone's going through, but hopefully I'll be able to get back to you all soon with a review. The final book I have in this haul is The Lies of Lockemora by Scott Lynch. I remember somebody mentioning it on their channel and I can't remember who. I think it might have been Sam from Marvels and Nonsense, so I have actually tweeted her when I first filmed this. This is like my second or third take now, and in my first take I actually tweeted her and showed everyone on the camera that I'd tweeted her. But I will tell you all her response down below. I basically just tweeted her asking her if it was her that had read The Lies of Lockemora, because I'm sure I've heard from someone that they've read it and it seems like a very Sam thing to read. So hopefully she will get back to me and let me know, and if she does, I'll let you know in the description down below. This one is basically, it's a debut novel by Scott Lynch and it's fantasy from what I can tell, so hopefully going into a fantasy novel from a debut novel from an author might make it a little bit easier for myself as well, because George R.R. Martin, by the sounds of things, is going to be really, really confusing and I don't know if I'm going to enjoy it. So I think if I build myself up and ease myself in with a 550 page book rather than a 750 page book, I might enjoy fantasy more. I do not know, but anyway, it's worth a try. So that was it for my book haul. That was really, really quick, and I do sound really fed up, but I've got to go to work soon and I've filmed this so many times now so I don't really know, you know, how it's gonna go. As you can tell, my voice has started going funny, so I'm now going to try the inevitable failing and picking up of books. So let's just see if I can do this for the still of my thumbnail.
Let's see. So far so good. Okay, maybe not. I don't know if it's going to last. Okay, they're all facing the other way, that's good. That's a start, right? Right. There we go, I actually have all the books. So this is my July, I'm going to say July book haul. It may not be my July book haul when I upload it. But anyway, this is the first book haul since my last. That makes no sense again. Anyway.
Okay, thank you all for watching, and my books are going to fall and I've got a really heavy on my hand. Hopefully I will be able to post reviews for some of these when I've read them. I'll let you all know my thoughts. I'm going to leave my Twitter handle down below because that's where I normally tweet where I'm doing with my reading. I'm also going to leave my Instagram down below so you know which books I'm reading from their covers, and hopefully I'll see you all soon with another video. Bye!